Alright. Over the past years, I have played countless hours of Csgo and literally eat, sleep, played Csgo and repeated that bitch. Anyhow, I've noticed a trend throughout the years when it comes to CSGO. And that trend is actually quite interesting when you look at it a little bit closer. It's quite well hidden. You should lean in like a little bit closer. And then I can tell you what the trend is. Like, it's kind of a secret, guys. Like, I mean, they're trying to hide it so badly. But it's basically this thing where, yeah, Valve doesn't give a shit about their game. I don't know if you were expecting more than that, but there's not much more to it. If I were to be a CSGO and Valve were to be my dad, he basically went to get milk for about, 8 years, and then whenever he notices it's not going that great, he throws me a bone in the form of an operation. In hopes that that'll suffice and keep me quiet and not fucking hate him. But guess what, Dad? I know you weren't getting milk. I know you married someone else and have a kid that you love more and spend all your attention and time with. I'm obviously talking about Dota 2 here, but yeah. In all seriousness, it's not that bad, right? CSGO is a great game. It's as polished as it can be. And honestly, the most balanced competitive first-person shooter that is available out there to this day. Plus, it seems like its viewership and concurrent player count is only going up, so technically, it's all still going fine with the game. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's lacking updates. New things that spice up the game. Something that changes up the meta. The only time that I saw a meta change in CSGO was literally when they decided to buff the SG and AUG because they were kind of shit weapons and everyone started using them, and then Valve was like, you know what, we don't like this, we're gonna undo this change. Basically, those guns are where they started almost, really. Yeah, of course we have that one time where the R8 fucked up everyone's games. Well, we don't talk about that.
You can one-shot somebody with a fucking pistol!
As I said before, Valve has a child it loves a slight, tiny, whiny bit more. And that game is, of course, Dota 2. The way I would describe Valve's current situation is probably Valve is the dad and Dota 2 is its son, and that... How many abandoned dad jokes am I gonna make, man? My dad is still alive and well, and I don't know why I'm even saying this. Right, let's try something else instead, alright? Say you were to be on a boat, right? That boat being a luxurious boat. Ginormous. Yacht. Actually, no, it's more like a cruise ship. Like the Titanic. Also very luxurious, of course. Well, that boat happens to be Dota 2, and Valve so just happens to be its captain. Hello, I am in this ship's captain. And right in front of that boat, they see an iceberg that is so big. Oh shit, that's a big iceberg. So, of course, naturally, you start to invest all your power into trying to stray away from that iceberg. But guess what? The iceberg happens to be League of Legends, baby. And it ain't never gonna give up until Dota 2 sinks to the bottom of the sea. Yeah, that analogy works. So yeah, in real world terms, I would just put it as Valve is pumping all its time and energy into Dota 2 because they want it to succeed. And that is a valid concern, of course. It makes sense you want to save your dead game. Immensely popular game, yeah. Its concurrent player count has been dwindling in a downward spiral throughout 2020, and this has continued throughout 2021. It's not going up whatsoever. So the game is going into the wrong direction. And I've kind of been brainstorming why this might be the case. The thing that has been responsible for the decreasing player population has probably been the fact that the international did not happen in 2020 because of the good old Big C. We all know the Big C, we love it, right? Fucking hate it, I'm so lonely. So, to most people that have been playing this game, it kind of feels like there is nothing at stake here. There is no money to be made in this esport. So why should we stick around? This is probably not the only reason, but it seems like this is the only obvious reason out there thus far, since Valve has just been paying attention and continue to spend money on the game. So I pretty much, it pretty much seems like the international not happening might have been the cause of this. But yeah, now let's talk about the real reason why I'm making this video. The title being why you should quit for Csgo for Valorant. There's a variety of different things that make me believe that you should switch out Csgo for Valorant. We just talked about the first one, right? Csgo has always been Valve's second child who has been treated worse. Let's not go into the direction of another dad analogy, but yeah. There are still some things to cover here, so, we're gonna focus more on the Valorant / Riot side of the story and why they are, in my opinion, the better side of the spectrum, or at least will end up that way if Valve doesn't take action. It was towards the end of 2019 when I really quit playing CSGO and decided it was just not fun for me anymore. And honestly, I was not expecting to get sucked into another video game as badly as I did with CSGO, but hey, I was completely wrong. In April of 2020, the open beta for Valorant went live. It was all over the internet and Twitch, and of course it inevitably got me under its spell too. Playing the game was a welcome breath of fresh air. The solid gunplay that CSGO had mixed together with all type of good characteristics from other games that all together made for this masterpiece of a game. It sucked me in real good, and I quickly became quite good at the game. I peaked at Immortal 2 seasons now, I think, so quite decent. The diverse set of characters and the meta changes every act have been something that have kept me coming back to it. And I just can't stop playing it, man. Like, the fuck? I could talk hours about why this game is good, but the more important thing at hand to focus on here is Riot Games and how it is preparing Valorant to dethrone the almighty king of competitive FPS shooters. Throughout 2020, Riot has been working on improving Valorant a lot and have addressed some big problems with the game. Now, unlike CSGO, it is not nearly as polished. There are some things that still need to be addressed, but it is a process of ironing out the kinks, which they are working hard on, and it is appreciated to see. Like, honestly, it really is. If any Riot employees are watching this, you're fucking awesome. Like, you're doing a really great job with the game. We have been receiving game updates nearly every 2 weeks with balancing updates and agent changes. And besides that, the game has been updated with new skin bundles every 2 to 3 weeks as well. Which for the rich people under us... Which for the rich people under us is also something that is very welcome. Riot has been following a consistent pattern in bettering their game and adding new elements that keep the game interesting. I don't think I can ever say the same about CSGO. We've received maybe 2 proper updates that have added something new, namely the R8 and the MP5. Another point is that Riot has been in contact with the community so much. And it has honestly been nice to see developers interact with professional players, but also just regular players like me in an aim to improve the game. It is very simple. Riot listens, Valve doesn't. Let's face it, they're probably too busy fixing their sinking cruise ship that is Dota 2. Do not get me wrong. I love CSGO with all my heart, but I genuinely think if Valve continues this way, we will see the game be run into the ground in the long run. The game is good and still really enjoyable, but there is some sort of respect missing when it comes to Valve and how they treat their community and their game. And I have found that respect that I was looking for in Riot Games and Valorant. So, as a little summary, the main reasons why you should play Valorant over CSGO is because Valorant doesn't get treated as the younger sibling that turned out to be a girl, so Valve can't play football with them and treats them like shit. I did it again. So, Now the real reason. Valorant has been receiving interesting new updates that changed up the meta, and they are working tirelessly in improving the game. Whilst to the other side of the spectrum, I feel like we're just looking at and talking to a brick wall as well, which is not that great if you think about it. And another reason why you should play Valorant is because it's a new experience with interesting characters and dynamics. And if you really love CSGO, it might be a good idea to at least give this game a chance. The main reason for me why I switched to Valorant, this might sound cheesy, but I do enjoy seeing that whenever you post something on Reddit, all these employees react to it. The same thing might be happening with Valve, but we actually directly see feedback and we see people on Twitter talking about this stuff, and we just don't get any value out of Valve, really. That's what's going on. That's pretty much my view on this subject. I think you should play Valorant. I think you should play CSGO. But I think you should play Valorant over CSGO. Because the game has been lacking. It's time for change. If you watched the video until this far, I want to thank you for watching. I have made guides for Omen that you might want to take a look at. It's quite interesting. I have some other videos in the backlog that are going to be uploaded as well in the coming time. So subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content like this. I hope you at least find it somewhat funny, because it was a take at funny, also serious. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope this quality is still kind of decent. See you in the next one, boys.